if you're trapped on a desert island and you see like a wild boar wandering around and you're hungry, you're going to go for it to survive.
In order to eat healthier and live a healthier lifestyle, you have to be able to afford it. And a lot of people can't afford it, and that's why they eat the way they do.
Everything on this planet is somewhere in the food chain.
What's up, everybody? Natalie here with John, and I had a sign that said "Debate a vegan, win a drink." So we're gonna see how it goes. So what are your general thoughts on veganism?
Veganism, I think it's good. It's going towards the right cause. I just feel like we were naturally inclined to eat meat, and I love meat. We just had jambalaya and it was just delicious, and I can't see my dietary restrictions going to such an extreme.
It's not just about diet, it's also about a lot of other things, like you wouldn't want to wear leather because leather is like a cow skin being pulled off of them. You don't want to wear makeup that's like tested on animals, things like that. So it's really kind of a reorientation with the way you view animals. Instead of seeing them as resources, you see them as like individuals with value. So do you know much about like the meat and dairy industries?
Well, just from what I see, because now like we are in a different time in life, and you see more of the negative things and the negative ways that people do stuff. And I'm not really a big fan of that, but just really not much, just one person can change.
When you go to the grocery store, the labels say like humane and local and all that stuff. Yeah. Do you believe that stuff?
No, I don't.
Okay.
No.
Good, because 99% of meat comes from factory farms. So you brought up a couple things there. The first is kind of this like we're natural omnivores or whatever. Yep. The second is enjoyment. So let's touch on both. Yep. So this kind of like we are naturally able to do it. That's true, right? I'm not going to argue that we're not naturally able to do it, but we're naturally able to do many things. We're naturally able to murder each other, to kill each other. Does the fact that we are able to do something, does that make it moral to do that?
Stealing is also like the other thing, for instance, like we're naturally able to do, but we just don't do it by nature of law that we have established. But, it's not a law to eat, there's no law against eating meat right now.
Sure.
So in the meantime, as long as it's still there, I can continue to do it.
What is your current relationship with animals? Do you like animals?
Yes. Love them. Yeah, I love them. I love most animals. Not a fan of snakes.
You don't think one person can change anything?
Well, one person can with a big, push, with a big help from, people around them in communities and stuff like that.
Yeah. And that's kind of the cool thing about vegan is that, like, no one's vegan alone, right? Like, there's a whole movement. And you just have to walk into the grocery store. Like, it used to just be cow's milk, right? But now there's oat milk.
Almond milk, stuff like that, yeah. Wish that is a better alternative.
Do you think legality equals morality?
Ooh. That's interesting, because I used to be a little bit of a mess back in the day. I used to think things that were illegal should have been legal, but I don't know. I think it's circumstantial.
What does that mean?
I think depending on what it is, like what's legal, what's illegal. I think we don't have everything right, if that makes sense, right? So like, with that being said, like maybe we do or do not have consuming meat products being right, especially the way we raise livestock and stuff like that, which obviously is the case. But like, if you're trapped on a desert island and you see like a wild boar wandering around and you're hungry, you're gonna go for it to survive.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. Like, I love chicken wings.
Oh, I used to love chicken wings too.
And sometimes when I'm eating, I be like, I hate to say it, but something had to die for this. And it kind of, I don't know, it makes me feel like, a type of way, stuff like that.
If you do love animals, do you think that it makes sense to pay for them to be harmed?
I don't think about it like that. I try to push that out of my mind.
Right.
but no.
Does it make you feel like sad or?
Well, it makes me, I'm not gonna necessarily say sad because I still eat it. So if I was like really sad, I probably wouldn't. But it makes you think.
There are countries where it's legal for men to rape their wives. That doesn't make that moral. Like, I think we could agree on that. So now let's talk about the desert island thing. So that is kind of an interesting scenario. That would be one like of survival, right? So if we were on a desert island and literally the only choice I had was to eat a boar and like there were no plants.
Yeah, would you do it?
Yeah, I would do it because I think that you can justify that. The question is, are we in that situation now?
To consume meat now on a regular basis, right?
Yeah, that's the question.
It depends. I mean, I think we're getting to a point where like we need to cut back. I think that's more than fair. Everything on this planet is somewhere in the food chain, right? No matter what. And I think that, like, maybe it's hard to say whether or not where our natural position is on the food chain, right?
So what's the primary reason that you consume meat and dairy products? For me, I think it was mostly like taste and convenience.
It's most definitely taste. What you said exactly, taste and convenience. It's easy to get. It's quick to drive through McDonald's and grab something and keep it moving, Honestly, and I think a lot of people would agree with me, if it didn't cost so much, you can go to McDonald's and get a double cheeseburger, small fry for $2.99. In order to eat healthier and live a healthier lifestyle, you have to be able to afford it. And a lot of people can't afford it, and that's why they eat the way they do.
And I think you touch on something which is really important, is that we kind of try to push it out of our minds. And, I haven't been vegan forever. Most of my life I was eating animals, and I did kind of push it out of my mind. But, like, when you actually think about it, do you think that there is a good reason to eat animals?
Honestly, no, not really. You can avoid eating animals. You can eat vegetables, fruit, things like that.
I used to think like, I can never go vegan because it's too expensive. And yeah, if you're eating at McDonald's all the time, you can't. There's not even an option there. But like if you look at the grocery stores, the cheapest foods there are the things that are naturally vegan, like rice, pasta, beans, vegetables. All that stuff is cheap. Meat and dairy, like cheese, is really expensive. So like when you look at plant-based diets overall, they come in around 30% cheaper than omnivore diets. So that's pretty cool, right?
That is. And that's something I think I would look at, even after this, you really just, giving me knowledge on that, because I didn't know that.
Why do cows produce milk?
Feed their young, just like us. They feed their young.
They don't just make it on their own. Oh, shit.
Scientists have determined we're somewhere near like pigs and like anchovies. But that kind of, I think, goes back to the nature thing. Like, just because like we do have the technology to dominate other species, do you think that makes it moral to do so?
Ooh. If you put it like that's a good way to put it that way, to say no, it's not moral it's not moral to do it like that, but it kind of is where it is, and I'd rather be on my side of the food chain right now than like at the bottom of it, if that makes sense, because of the natural order of where we should be.
They're forcibly impregnated with this like fucking
Yeah, a little simulator, a little injector thing.
They jack off bulls to get the bulls to come. They put like an electro thing up their butt. It's fucking nasty, dude. And pigs are all jerked off. Like, it's so fucking gross. I guess I kind of want to talk a little bit more about how bad the situation is for the animals right now. Like, do you think that they're tortured in the meat and dairy industry?
I have seen, videos people recording of how the animals are treated and, the conditions that they're in. And you have to think about it, even though, I eat meat, but that animal, why would you even want to eat meat? And I still do. So, for the record, I still do. But if you think about it, if you really think about it, why would you want to? Because how that animal is feeling when it's slaughtered, you're eating that. You're digesting that. That's going in you. And I think that's why a lot of people feel the way they do about, life. Some people are depressed, some people, sad. But if you eating an animal that's lived in that type of condition, don't you think that's where it's coming from?
But what do you think is more important, your taste pleasure or animals' lives?
I don't want to be that guy. It's like my taste buds, but
Are more important? If we're saying like, I eat these products because I enjoy it, taste is a sense, right?
Yes.
Like sight, smell, sound. When we say that, we're saying sensory pleasure can justify violence toward an innocent victim. Do you think that that is true?
That's a fair point. Honestly. No, it definitely doesn't. I mean, just because you enjoy killing somebody, right, doesn't make it right or something like that.
Yeah. Taste or life?
On that statement, life. But a lot of people don't say taste, but it's actually life. Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, especially if you're someone who loves animals, like you said. What's more important, convenience or life?
Ooh. Yeah. I'm still say life, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting, and I can tell you that definitely, like, after I went vegan, like, I started feeling better, just kind of more connected to the world, and like a good kind of way, if that makes sense. And I felt like I was finally living in line with my values, because like you, I loved animals, but I was still eating meat. And every time you're, paying for these products, you're essentially saying, abuse more animals for me. And I didn't want to be saying that.
The question is am I going to drastically, really that's what the question is, am I going to drastically change my way of life? Probably not in this little vacation that we're doing right now.
I just want to make the point again that it's not drastic. Like it's actually a small change. It feels drastic beforehand, but everyone I know who's done it is like, oh my God, that's so easy. But I feel like I've kept you for long enough. I really appreciate you talking to me. Who do you think won the debate?
Well, I mean, obviously you're going to win the debate on that one. I knew I was going to a losing battle. Because you came in organized, articulate, and all that, and I came in literally just off a plane, so and not ready to do it.
And like I said, I think you won just from having an open mind and being honest. So I really appreciate it, John. Thank you. If you enjoyed this, please hit that like button. Special thanks to my morally superior patrons, Amy, Andy, Deepak, and Rebecca.